It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new year, and I'm feeling bad, stressed out. And I had an epiphany. Not really an epiphany, but if you watched the first video, you know that I'm going for the hobbyist run ending. And it occurred to me that my first year, we didn't do enough resting. I think we rested like 2, maybe 3 times. And that's not enough. So this year, I'm thinking it'd be the quickest year in the game, as we maybe do a whole rest year. And maybe, just maybe... Oh, shoot. Just maybe we can go for the monoculture achievement. Mono deck achievement. Have a deck with cards of a single color or wild cards. So if we're resting all the time, oh, I forgot to read it. Mom's mad at us because we're not going to school. We're doing important things. I need a hug. Hold this in your head now, my darling. You hear it as you enter the garden looking for Cal. It'll help with the swelling. Cal is sitting with his mother, Auntie Tira, who kneels beside him, holding an ice pack to his head. Cal's eyes are a little puffy. He rubs them and sniffs as you approach. Hello, soul. Tyra? What's her whole name? Why does she not have a thing? Don't worry, recalcitrance. Just took a tumble off something. He shouldn't have been climbing. Mom, Cal complains, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, that sounds like something he'd do. Cal shrugs. I climbed it before and it was fine, he says, not disagreeing with you. It was slippery from the irrigation misters, that's all. Mom always knows how to make it better, he says with a boyish smile, even if I'm old enough to take care of myself. My brave boy, Tyra says, stroking his hair. Thanks for humoring me. She looks over to you. Don't let him show off for you, soul. Ground-based feats for bravery only for the rest of the day. Cal whines and wrinkles his nose. Tyra laughs and wraps him in a big motherly hug, rocking him back and forth. Despite his protests, Cal's eyes close in happiness. He really loves his mom. How do we have her? Oh, it doesn't... Sometimes they will show you their whole name. Like, one's name is like Fluorescence or something. I don't know. So if we go for the mono deck, we have the most yellow cards out of anything, so we would need to get rid of all of our blue cards and all of our red cards. Okay. Spend several hours a day obsessively checking the local holonet for updates. With so few people in the colony, social media can be very dead. It feels like you're talking to yourself sometimes. You try to start a few conversations, but most people are busy at work or school. Mom's gonna get so mad at us. So much has happened in the last month since the monster attacked her in Glow. The idea of this planet as a peaceful utopia has been shattered. The security squads are training new members and keeping close watch on the gates now. They're reinforcing the walls and even installing a few robotic turrets. In class, you have drills on what to do if the colony is attacked again. In all excitement, you forgot today was your birthday. Your parents haven't forgotten. They wake you up early with enthusiastic shouts of surprise. A The Rotundan year is only a little longer than a year on Earth, so you've taken up its calendar for birthdays. Yours is on the second month of quiet. Sparks snow drifts slowly past your porthole window as you snuggle with your dad. Mine comes up too and sits on the edge of your bed. Your dad pulls a bowl of fruit from behind his back with a flourish, like it's a magic trick. At least you think it's fruit. What are those? Bobber fruit, your dad grins. The foragers have been picking these just outside the walls. They might look funny, but they're tasty. Try one. You take a cautious bite. The pulp is soft and tastes a bit like lemon, only more blue. I bet you can't wait to join the surveyors out there, your dad says wistfully. Who knows what else you'll find? Soul is not allowed outside the gates, your mom interrupts, her voice sharp. It's too dangerous for kids. Well, I know, but eventually, your dad says. But your mom cuts him off again. But not now. Not since the attack. Not with everything we know is out there now. I helped. I was a hero. Don't even start, your mom snaps. You should have been in the creche with the others, not putting yourself in danger for no reason. You don't get it. Your mom wasn't a farmer back on Earth. She was a fighter too. She's such a hypocrite. Even still, your mom says, it's clear that everyone should know how to defend themselves if it happens again. To be clear, this includes knowing when to run away, your dad adds. Security Chief Rhett offering self-defense lessons at the garrison, you know, even for kids, if you're interested. You should drop in sometime. Your mom gives you a stern look. But I've heard stories of kids sneaking outside the walls, she said grimly. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to put a chip in your ear. You laugh. What a good joke. Your mom doesn't laugh. Do what I want. The argument does not win you any favors with your mother. Low-key, I'm wondering if I should get my rebellion all the way up and see if I fail the hobbyist, if I manage to get the rebellion ending, because that's the other one that I'm missing. So now we get a cake on our birthday every year, which is good, and if we share it with Tammy, we get free arts, and we keep the cake. Free friendship. Okay. I know I said we're gonna rest a lot this month, or this year, but I do want to save this guy, which requires us exploring in the last month. The wet month. So I'm gonna clear the way. Psst, it's Dis. He's hiding behind some bushes? That's so typical. He puts a finger to his lips and motions for you to follow him. Sure, you figure, why not? He leads you silently along the walls towards the garrison, crouches down in the bushes between the sports ball field and the security pavilion to fiddle with something. Suddenly he's gone. What? You check to make sure no one else noticed, then scuttle over to where you last saw him. Behind some popflower bushes, there's a drainage pipe in the wall big enough to crawl through. A heavy grate keeps animals out, but it's loose. You could slide in it aside to get through. You could sneak out. If the adults won't let you visit the Valley of Vertigo or the subiquitous swamps or the other cool places survivors go, well, you could sneak through here to explore just outside the colony walls. If Dis does it, how dangerous could it be? You slip through the drain pipe. Outside works a little different than in the colony. I'll explain in a minute. You slip through the drain pipe and out of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Could that be... Is that Dis? He turns and disappears into the jungle. Now you're sure of it. That was definitely Dis. He's not allowed to inside the colony either. Well, let's follow him. You scamper after him through the brush, heedless of branches and brambles scraping at your arms and legs. Without a proper enviro suit, you get all scratched up. This kid is fast. You quickly lose sight of Dis and can't find his trail again, but you don't learn something by trying. So out here, there's like a bunch of events, and you can click on them, go around, and they all take energy. So you can only do some before you have to head back. And sometimes you get injured, and then you have to Yes, I just realized. Many times we're doing things, so we don't do two things too often. Expeditions. Okay. What is his deal? You stop trying to get past it and just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning it away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking its soothing tones. The agitated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you by. Alright. There's a mushroom log. Can I go this way or this way? Let's go this way. Some farmland has filled up to the walls. The fields won't look like they're doing very well. Nobody around right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. There's some meager-looking crops ready to harvest, but animals are starting to get at them. Salvage them. You pull up a handful of wrinkler tubers. They're probably supposed to be potatoes, eventually, or maybe yams. It's hard to tell. You dig around a little longer, but it's all pretty picked over. So this is useful if we didn't help with the shields. But we did, so the colony's not starving for food. I think if we talk to Disc, we can keep exploring. You follow Disc sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sneaking away as usual, he stays still as you approach, like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of the jungle so far away from the colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away that you can't see the walls anymore. It's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Disc stares unblinkingly at you as you approach. "Hi, Soul," is all he says. Hi. He seems to be in a good mood, something you see very rarely. "Did you see a utopia out there?" Disc asks. Chief Surveyor Tonin is easy to sneak past, but Utopia has X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got big trouble. How about I show you something cool, and sneaking out will be our secret, okay? He jumps up and walks a little ways into the trees. You follow. After just a few minutes away, the ground drops off and a large stone outcropping juts out over a cliff face. Disc walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. "Come on," he says. Bravely step onto the rock and walk out to the edge of this. You both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out at the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your holopalm, but you won't share it on the net. This is your secret. Yours and Disc. We're gonna keep exploring just because we can. Will this ruin our hobbyist run? Probably. Gonna do it anyway. Because we're a little crazy. As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of mush trees, the Unisaur looks up towards you, startled by your movement. You try to hold perfectly still and quiet your breathing. If I remember correctly, Unisaurs are predators. After a tense moment, it goes back to its business. First, it sniffs out a good tree and rubs the scent glands in its neck against it thoroughly. Then it pees like a crystal waterfall on a rock. Everything it does seem magical. You quietly take a picture with your hologram, but you know you can't share it or you'll get caught for sneaking out. Next, it sharpens its horn against the rock, which is scored with marks from having done this before. This must be its favorite sharpening rock. You notice the bulge in its stomach. It must have had a huge meal recently. Eventually, it curls up for a nap. You quietly sneak away. This was so wonderful. Vertumna is a magical place. I like the Unisaurs. You can get a pet one, but it's kind of tricky. There's something here, something invisible that makes the hairs on your arms stand on end, like an electric aura. As you walk forward, it begins to feel like something's nipping at your ankles. But when you look down, there's nothing there. You back away. The sensation stops. You move forward. Oh, it's worse! The feeling is like tiny electric bites, and it's growing more intense. Some kind of microscopic gnats? In an electric field of some sort? It hurts, but maybe you can find a way to avoid it and get through this area. Excellent. By trial and error and a little intuition, you find a route through whatever it is. The shock seems strongest near some low-flying fractal palms. You can hear a hum from the palms and decide it must be some kind of natural electric field. Maybe it'll ward off animals like you. Come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still pretty big. It must be good to harvest them before they get all gross and mushy during the rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them. But I'm just gonna give them a friendly pat. You like the mush trees. You give one a pat and are surprised when it moves under your hand. It's not the tree though, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks a little like an octopus or a starfish. Lots of long legs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug. You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blob glass. Totally transparent. The sticky fronds are hard to see, but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming onto your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of the blobgrass field, and there aren't many, just an absence of other vegetation. Okay, we're good. For some reason I was nervous. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to the fallen log and climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You get through the villainous blobgrass. You spend a bunch of time on it, though. It takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring. Let's go over here first. Sometimes there's collectibles over here. Ahead of you, the road curves right, and there's a steep hill leading off to the left. You bet there's a really good view from the top of it, but it's going to be scrambled to get up. Let's hike. You leave your pack in some bushes at the base of so you'll be lighter on your feet, then start the trek. It's tiring and even steeper than it is from the bottom, but some broad mushroom-capped trees provide shade. The view from the top is spectacular. You can see all the way to the colony walls in one direction and down to a little sawmill on the other. Then you spot it, the rock, the most perfect boulder you've ever seen, teetering right on the edge of the slope you just climbed up. It's almost as tall as you are and must weigh at least 2,000 kilos, but it's practically teetering there. You think with enough muscle you could push it over. I feel like if you push it over, it crushes your stuff. We'll do it anyway. That's when we get toughness. There comes a time in every childhood that one must take life by the horns and just push the rock. You shove it with all your might, digging your toes in the hard ground and leaning in. Ah! There we go. The rock starts to slide, and suddenly it's off with a satisfying lurch, catapulting down the hill, rolling faster and faster, crashing through the bushes. Oh no, your pack! The rock just rolled right over it. Make your way back down the hill to retrieve your bag, now completely destroyed along with its contents. Ah, shoot. You're gonna have a hard time explaining this one to your parents, and you're gonna need a new bag. Another thing for our parents to be disappointed about. Why is it doing that? Done. Done. There we go. Too worn out. It's just what we need to be worn out. Okay, now we can tell Tangent what this is doing outside. You tell Tangent you know where Dis has been going. You tell he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle. Not far away, just outside the walls. She looks concerned. Really? Is it safe? I'll keep him safe. She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Soul, but you're just a kid. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there. What does Dis have to say? Dis is sitting near the grass, near the big gates that lead out into the jungle. He's just staring out into nothingness and picking absentmindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice you as you approach. Or just sit with him quietly. He shifts uncomfortably as you sit, but doesn't say anything. You both just hang out, saying and doing nothing. You stare out the big gates. The grass in the colony is trimmed short by garden plots, but out there it's wild and as high as your waist. Head Surveyor Ratonin is prepping his equipment for an outing. He's bringing a lot. Maybe he's gonna stay out overnight. You're starting to wonder if Dis will ever acknowledge you when he says, I've gotta go. As he starts down the hill, he pauses and says, this is a good spot. I'll probably come back here tomorrow. We're starting to become friends. Okay, gotta rest. Who do we hang out with? Who do we have the least amount of friendship with? Enemy Tangent for sure. Tangent is quietly reading her holopalm. You pop down beside her and ask her what she's reading. Multicellular biology, she says, frowning at the interruption. If you insist on sitting near me, you could at least do it quietly. No problem. You open up your holopalm and find a textbook of old Earth poetry to read. It's never a bad idea to do a little independent study. Though she's a little prickly, you can tell Tang appreciates your company. Okay, so we're keeping yellow ones. So let's get rid of this. It sucks we didn't get our empathy high enough to unlock the spa, but I'm scared if I babysit again, it's going to be too much. Let me look at our notes. We've only done life science once, so we could do some more school and still be okay. What do we have the least in? She is pretty low. Reasoning is comparatively high. It's pretty high. Reasoning, no, engineering. Creativity and persuasion. Let's do that one. Welcome, Soul. Professor Hal greets you. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities, history, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient Earth poetry too. He seems excited about that last bit. Okay, so this time they adding challenges. Now a random card is locked in one slot, so this one can't move, which can make it a little tricky sometimes, especially later in the game when if you have worthless cards, and sometimes it'll put a terrible card there. Gotta write this down. Okay. Tammy, sitting on a little stool in the sun, reading a fairy tale picture book on her hollow palm. She sighs. Are you okay? I'm okay. She hesitates. It's just that, look at all the pictures of these princes and princesses. The princes are always the taller ones. But I'm so big. I'm even taller than Cal. How can he be my prince if I'm bigger than him? It's true, Tammy is the tallest kid you know. Taller than the boys. Even Cal, who is a year older. You know she and Cal are close friends, but you never thought of him as her prince before. So just for funsies, because we're doing a hobbyist route, we're probably not going to romance anyone except maybe Rex. We're going to be a massive flirt. Forget Cal. I like you just the way you are. That's really nice, Soul, Tammy smiles. Then she looks suddenly startled. Oh, do you mean like? You tell her that she's beautiful exactly the way she is, and you wouldn't change a thing. She blushes, and embarrassed and unable to think of what else to do, she goes back to flipping through the pages on her book, smiling now. Spoiler alert, we're not getting with Tammy. I don't think I've ever successfully gotten her with Tammy. I have tried multiple times. But you have to get a certain amount of friendship with Cal at the same time, and for some reason I never get enough friendship with Cal. We're gonna rest again. But Mad Kitty, you say? We already rested. So, we're going for a hobbyist ending. I almost clicked babysat. Oh boy. Cal has a dazed, peaceful look on his face. The air smells so good on Ventumna, and so does the dirt even. You notice his clothes are filthy, but obviously Cal couldn't care less. An enemy bounces in. There's so much space to run around and play in. Com and Chief Rhett set up an outdoor sports bar court, and it's way huger than the old one on the ship. Tangent carefully selects one cushion from the pile and perches on it. The school's expanding to some of the empty engineering bays, she tells you, and we're getting a big new lab to do experiments using local resources. There's so much to learn about this planet. An enemy rolls their eyes, but Ting continues. We shouldn't forget our studies just because we've landed. Let's play outside. Soul is right, you hear over your shoulder, and you startle to find Dis standing right behind you. Gah, when did he get here? All those cool animals we saw in Glow, Dis continues, picking at a thread on his sweater until it unravels. I wonder if there are more out there. You've had less of the deja vu dreams come to life feeling this week, and you're starting to think you'd even imagined it, but suddenly you get a prickling sensation in the back of your neck and remember that Mars is about to enter the lounge and tell everyone to look outside. You stare at the door. Mars walks through it as if on cue. OMG, everybody, look outside. They're hoisting a flag over command, she says, clapping her hands excitedly. You know what that means, right? She stands tall with her hands on her hips. Vertumna is officially humanity's first exocolony ever. You look out at the flag, feeling dizzy, and silently mouth the words along to what she says next. You remember this moment so well. This is history, kids, she explains, wrapping an enemy in Tangent under each arm, and we were there. Oh no, okay. I want to get rid of the ones so bad, but if we're doing mono deck, we need to keep both of these. You finish breakfast in the common area when Marzipan struts in. Look at you, eating cereal, she says, turning her nose up at you. I'll bet you don't even know what day it is. It's Valentine's Day. No, you dummy, Mars starts, then pauses and gives you a suspicious look. Wait, what did you say? Well, anyway, today, she announces to the room, is St. Valentine's Day. Dis and Tammy wander over to hear more. Back on Earth, Mars explains, it was a day when everyone had to give their best friend a gift, especially sweets. And then you put the sweets under your pillow, and it makes you dream about who you're going to marry. And there are decorations of hearts and arrows and pigs. Tammy cocks her head. Why pigs? Before Mars can answer, Dis snorts. This is dumb. Marzipan just made it up to get free candy. He rolls his eyes and walks away. As he leaves, Mars shouts at his back, well, nobody was gonna pick you anyway. You stink. Sounds fun. Tammy nods enthusiastically, her hair bobs jangling. I'm gonna tell all the other kids about it, so you go around and find your best friend and give them a gift. She points her finger at you. Make sure you do it by the end of the day or it doesn't count. And if too many people want to be my best friend, she adds, I'll hold tryouts for the position. It's only fair. She tosses her hair over her shoulder and laughs. So, it doesn't particularly matter for this run or for anything who we give the candy to, but Mars appreciates it the most, so let's give it to her. Mars has clearly been waiting for someone to come ask her to be their BFF, but she's trying to play it cool, looking expectant and nonchalant at the same time. She's tapping her foot while kind of idly looking around at nothing. In my dreams, we are in love. She blushes and looks frantically around her for a second, and for a second you think she's going to run away, but she quickly darts forward and gives you a peck on the cheek. OMG, that's totes romantical, she squeaks, then, these are for you, best friend. She stuffs some chocolate rations in your hand, then she runs. Okay, it should be Tammy's birthday. So we should be able to give her a cake. Yes! A birthday cake, you remembered! She insists that you share it with her, but sets a large side aside first. Cake is Cal's favorite food, she explains, so I always have to save himself. He loves cake all the time, not just on birthdays, and well, anything you can eat, really. Okay. Maybe we should rest every other... Tangent is watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushwood, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter-long pole and stack it into place. She points towards them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, this was all just dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about adaptability in writing in biology class. The books say it's what sets us apart from animals. Like, we don't need fur, because we can make warm clothes. And if it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. Well, maybe animals have neat adaptations. Tangent rolls her eyes at you. Maybe, but even if they do, I haven't seen any sign of intelligent life here. It's just those big, dumb exofauna. Some animals here are smart and friendly. They're still animals, Soul. Maybe they're just pretending to be nice so you'll feed them. You're lucky it didn't eat you. Dorps moths look cute, and one can eat through a bag of rice in less than 30 minutes. Even an herbivore can be dangerous here. It doesn't have to want to eat you to be able to hurt you. Together, they watch as the foreman puts the blueprints for the scaffolding onto the floating screen of her hollow palm and raises it to the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tange says firmly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure. She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology. All of us are, really, with our genetic enhancements. We're the next step in humans' evolution, from great ape to galactic superspecies. What should we do? Combat is our lowest, and we can still hang out here a couple more times, so maybe let's do defense training. Defense. You attend your first class of Security Chief Rat's self-defense classes. It's a small class, mostly security officers and other adults. You and an enemy are the only kids. She gives you a wink and a cheesy thumbs up as you listen to Rhett rant about how everyone in the colony needs to learn self-defense. You could be walking along, thinking you're safe within the walls, and a flying animal would swoop out of the sky. Then what would you do? I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna chop that beast right in the throat. Yeah! He points at the assembled class, but only if you learn what I'm about to teach you. And the only way to learn is by doing. Who wants to volunteer for a demonstration? Step forward. The security chief doesn't scare you, or so you pretend. Red is like the biggest adult you know, and he's so intense. You step forward, and Red nods as he crouches down. Okay, he says, I'm a manticore, stalking you through the forest. What do? I run away. There's a smattering of laughter among the other students, but you have to live out your truth. If you see a manticore, you're out. Rhett doesn't laugh. That's correct, he says proudly. Only engage with the enemy when there's no other alternative. No one walks away from a fight without getting hurt. So the first rule of self-defense is to not put yourself in situations where you need to fight. Once you've learned such situational awareness, move on to hand-to-hand defense, drawing a variety of martial arts. Only when I'm confident that you're ready will we advance the weapons. There aren't that many weapons in the colony, mostly stun guns, gloves, and batons, with a few plasma rifles. You hope you don't have to use them, but it'll be good to know how. Combat training. Look at all of our blue cards. Did I say blue? Look at all our yellow cards. Okay. Now it should be an enemy's birthday. Oh, and we are tough enough that we can ask to train together, which we probably shouldn't do because it gives us a red card, but I have trouble not doing things. Dust is such a dry, hot season. Both suns are high in the sky, baking the usually lush Vertumnan jungle. If there's a breeze, it's warm, and you guessed it, dusty. Your parents are up every day before dawn, which comes far too early for your liking. They're usually gone by the time you wake up and home after you're asleep, so you have to visit them at work if you want to see them. Good morning, Gooseberry. Your dad greets you cheerily. Have you come to see the harvest? Sorry, that's my phone. Your mom and I are gathering crops from actual Vertumnan dirt this week. Sure. He shows you around the rows of corn and beans from Earth. They all look a little yellow and scraggly, not what you'd expect, but your dad enthusiastically points out the vegetables ready to harvest. Don't forget, he tells you, the Vertumnal Festival is coming up. There will be a talent show and a science fair. I'm sure you'll be eager to participate. Yup. So eager. So eager to do nothing. So it's your lucky day. You get to help clean my bedroom. How is that lucky? She puts her hands on her hips. Because you get to hang out with me all day, of course. And bonus, I might let you read my holomags. You know, I wouldn't trust just anyone near all of my most precious things. I actually don't know what happens if you say no to her. Because I'm usually a perfectionist. Or like a people pleaser. And I do it. Fine, Mars huffs. Pay you 1 whole kudos to do it, plus a bonus if you do a good job. Sure, 1 is not that much though. Great, follow me. My dads say it has to be finished by tonight, so we better get started. Mars's room is worse than you expected. The door barely opens because there's so much junk in the way. It's mostly clothes. Mars has an extensive wardrobe and spends all her kudos at the nanoprinters making more. She plops down on her bed. I'll be the supervisor, she says. You should start by taking the dirty clothes down to the laundry room. We're gonna work hard for the kudos. No! It's fine. You wash and fold, sweep and put everything away. It's tiring work, but it feels good to make progress. Mars just sits and reads old beauty magazines on her holoprom. Hello, Princess. Mars's dad's Uncle Al and Uncle Bernie pop their heads through the door after a few hours. They're everyone's uncles, and as usual covered in a layer of dust from the sawmills. How's cleanup going? Mars scrambles to turn off her holopalm and jumps off the bed to help you pack away the last of her school supplies. Oh, I see. Uncle Bernie puts his hands on his hips. You recruited a friend to help, didn't you? Soul, he asks you. Did Mars clean too, or did you do all the work? It was me. It was all me. And did she offer you kudos for your hard work? Uncle Al asks. You quietly nod yes. That's my angel. Al smiles at Mars because she knows she gets her allowance for doing her chores, not just for being our perfect little girl. They tell you to finish up and get ready for dinner. After they leave, Mars looks a little put out by the exchange. My dad and Papa are the best, obviously, she says, but they're always trying to teach me these lessons. Don't they know that being this fabulous is hard work too? She pouts. She swipes her holopalm to give you the kudos she promised, plus an extra one as bonus. Stick with me and I'll teach you to be fabulous too one day. No, we need to keep the LOs. It's fine. It's time, once more, for Vertumnalia. The mood of the colony has been muted this year, ever since they did attack during Glow, though everything is still cheerfully decorated, and the feast table is still heavy with food, mostly soy rations. This Vertumnalia just feels different, in a way you can't describe. The colonists gather in the square for Governor Eudicott's speech. What a year Vertumna has given us, the governor begins in her weedy voice. I stand before you, so proud of everything the colony has accomplished in such a short time. I have always hoped that we would bring with us the best facets of humanity, cooperation, resilience, creativity, and the events of this year have given me no reason to doubt my convictions. These creatures were unexpected, but I'd urge everyone to consider what it means for life here. If Vertumna can sustain megafauna, then that means conditions are good for us as well. Our friends in geoponics are already working on the logistics of domesticating the wildlife. Your dad, as second cultivator, stands and gives a sheepish wave to the crowd. There is a smattering of applause. Mars elbows you. Hey, did you hear? My dad says Eudicott's going to announce the depot's open to the public. You know, shopping, somewhere to spend all the kudos we've been saving up. There's going to be candy and toys and makeup and nice-smelling soap, not the boring kind in the communal showers. You know the concept of shopping. They do it in the hollow bits from Earth, especially the ones Mars likes, but you've never actually done it. The colony provides everything you need, but it would be nice to buy yourself a treat. My dad's giving me an allowance, Mars says, shooting you a look of pity. It's too bad your parents make you work for yours. You and Mars tune back into the speeches just as Eudicott, as predicted, announces the opening of the general store at the depot. Mars gives you a knowing look as she claps. Eudicott gestures for the council members to stand. Finally, the council remains unchanged from last year. We are, as always, proud to serve you in the colony as your government. The music starts as Governor Eudicott finishes. Thank you all for your hard work and your perseverance this year, she says over the ruckus. Together we build the future. Okay, so here's the problem. We want yellow cards. This will give us a red card, and this will be a blue one. So we're gonna eat. Games? No, thank you. We'll just enjoy the feast and let everyone else make fools of themselves. Now we can relax at the garrison. Which we are gonna do because we are hobbyists. After the first attack on the colony, they added lookout towers on the walls. Now you have a place to hang out if you don't feel like working. Because it's all the way up here, no adults are going to come ask you to run any errands for them. On rainy days, you take shelter under the pavilions and listen to the pitter-patter of warm droplets on the grass roof. You can do whatever you want. Aw, this is the life. The perfect place to slack off. Perfect place to catch up on holo vids you've been meaning to watch, and to chat with your friends on the colony's social media. Oh hey Soul, just pops his head over up a nearby ladder and looks surprised to see someone else there. Do you mind if I sit here too? Heck yeah, come sit beside me. The two of you dangle your feet off the side and watch the valley below. Dish shuffles a little uncomfortably and doesn't say much. You wonder if this was his private spot to be alone before you discovered it. Oh, we need to keep the yellows. It is Cal's birthday now. Can give him a bobber fruit. Oh wow, that looks delicious. Thanks for the birthday gift, Soul. You know I love to eat. Now let's do another combat. Part of self-defense is training your body so that it can be ready for any situation. The security chief has you running laps, jumping through tires, climbing walls, and sprinting back and forth. He has this inverted anti-gravity pad that makes your limbs feel super heavy. When you do jumping jacks on it and then do them again in normal gravity, it feels like you could jump straight back up through the wormhole. It is exhausting, but it's not that different than swordspell training. And it's a breeze. These are both pretty good cards. Say it was a breeze. Even though we don't want red cards. Wet is Mars's birthday. She likes crystals. Ha! Mars laughs, taking the crystal and turning it over in her hands, inspecting it. Well, I've had better birthday gifts this year, but I admit the crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. And we're gonna actually explore for one specific reason. We have enough energy that we could do a couple of these. At the top of a rise off to the east, you think you spot someone watching you. They're dressed in black. Is that Dis? But they look way too tall to be Dis. Maybe another surveyor? You blink, and the figure is gone. Let's hike over there and look for clues. You bushwhack down into a valley and up the other path to where you thought you saw them standing. No sign of a camp or anything obvious like a dropped pack. No note saying, I'm watching you, signed mysterious figure, spooky. So my first couple playthroughs of this game, I never even figured out who the mysterious stranger is. Isn't that wild? We can do a lot more, I think. The area is muddy from all the recent rain. Like real muddy. If you walk further, you're likely to get swallowed by a gruesome puddle of purple. Hop from dry spot to dry spot miraculously, you don't fall in. Maybe we should start getting rid of yellow cards and keep red cards. You hear screams from just over the next bluff. Human screams. Across the bluff to see Tammy's father, Chief Surveyor Tonin. He's being attacked by something you've never seen before. A four-legged creature with a huge mane of flowers, a mean reptilian face and two wicked claws. Is this a manticore? You've heard of fierce creatures like this outside the walls, but you never expected to ever see one up close. What is one doing so close to the colony? Uncle Tonin is pinned under one of the creature's pointed legs. He's struggling to get free, but the manticore keeps dancing around like it's playing with his food. You can hear it from here, growling and kicking its mandibles. But you snuck out. If you try to help, he's gonna know you snuck out. And your parents are gonna be so mad if they find you here. Panic rises in your chest. How could you even help him? It's a huge, deadly monster. Try to distract it. You hide behind a tree and throw a rock at it. It bounces harmlessly off of the manticore's flank and clatters to the ground. The manticore is undisturbed, which is more than you can say of yourself. Uncle Tonin shouts on plain, "You're running out of time. We're going to attack it." You break through the tree line yelling your battle cry. The manticore looks up from terrorizing Tonin and decides you could use a bit of terrorizing yourself. It roars, a deep, angry sound you can feel liquefy your guts. With literally nothing on you except a few rocks you could pick up from the clearing, you manage to anger the ferocious manticore enough that it decides to go after you instead. Or maybe it just thinks that it'll pick off the smaller, more tender prey before coming back for the main course. Either way, it leaps off of Uncle Tonin and starts towards you. As you're about to engage with it in the most one-sided battle of your young life, you smell the crackle of ozone in the air and the manticore howls in pain. Uncle Tonin, you must have distracted the manticore long enough for him to get his plas rifle. The manticore turns and flees, and you run over to Uncle Tonin's side. "Soul," he gasps. "I don't know why you're out here, but I'm glad to see you." Together you manage to limp him back to the gates. He'll be fine after an afternoon in the med bed, which is a relief. But you're even more relief when you don't get in trouble for sneaking out. You don't know what he told your mother, but it was a miracle you weren't grounded for life. Aw, yeah. Chief Surveyor Tonin has come to your quarters to personally thank you for saving him from the manticore. Ever since you returned, Tammy's barely let him out of her sight. She stammers out her thanks as well. If it weren't for you, she'd be an orphan. They both owe you a great debt. "I'm stepping down as Chief Surveyor," Uncle Tonin says. "I think it was about time I take up a job inside the colony walls. I wasn't built for life outside a ship, I think." He squeezes Tammy's hand. "Someone like Utopia has the youthful reflexes to stay safe out there in the jungle. She'll do great out there as the new Chief Surveyor. For that matter, so would you," he continues. "I know you weren't supposed to be out there, but I would have died if you weren't. And that has to account for something. When Utopia offers you a spot in expeditions, you should take her up on it." "It's no big deal." Tammy presents you with a basket of cookies. She's written "thank you" on each one in flowery writing. Tonin holds his hand up, brushing you off. "It was important to me," he says. "Because of you, I'll be around to see my little girl grow up." Sometimes when I replay, I forget to save him. I'm like, oops, he died. You know what time it is. Rest time. You run into Cal and an enemy on the hill behind the garrison at a small construction site. They seem to be throwing logs. There are a bunch of them lying at the bottom of the hill. "It's a caber toss," an enemy shouts to you, then grunts at the effort of lifting a 6-meter-long mushroom to a tree pole. She throws it like a javelin down the hill and sprints after it. "My best record," she shouts, and ties a piece of caution tape to the end of the pole. "Your turn next," Cal says, pointing to a neatly stacked pile of construction poles beside you. From the looks of the By construction, you're probably destined to build a new lookout tower someday. We'll do an average one. Just because... Guy. Pole sails down the hill past all the other poles, coming to rest sticking out of the ground. Wow, you beat by best distance, an enemy says when she jogs back up. Players can't beat each other in mushwood toss, Cal corrects her. They can only beat their own high scores. But you get 3 bonus points if it sticks out of the ground like that. You play for the rest of the afternoon, adding rules and variations as you go. You don't stop until the entire stack of poles are in a jumble at the bottom of the hill and decorated festively with caution tape. It's a wonder you got away with this. Get rid of that. Keep in the yellows. We're committed. Even though we probably have more red cards than yellow cards. Too scared to look. You slip through the colony gates, feeling the breeze from your mushroom forest ruffle your hair. You look around for Dis, and he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he went to class today? Probably not. So you're about to return to the colony. You hear what sounds like crying coming from one of the expedition vehicles. You'll pull back the tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores, and finds Dis curled up in the cabin. He wipes his eyes and turns around. Go away, he mutters. You okay? I'm fine. Just leave me alone. Do you want to talk about it? Why don't you go ask my sister? Chang is so mature. She knows everything. I'm just a sensitive little crybaby who doesn't know anything. Dis wraps his arms around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everyone thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone. Poor guy. It's his birthday, though. Do I have anything for you? I have roots. For my birthday? Well, thank you. This looks like it's from a very rare plant. Did you find it while you were exploring? They're twins. So twin birthday. It seems you remembered my birthday, Tinge says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Her lips curl and distaste of the dirt stuff still clings to them. How thoughtful of you. I have much to do today, but I'll set these roots aside to analyze later. She turns to walk away, then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds, almost as an afterthought. Defense training, I guess. I think this is the last. Oh shoot, so that was 5 times at this location. Here's the thing. My note said 4 to 5 times at each location, I think. Which is... I was interpreting it as jobs, not location. So this might be the last time we can ever do anything here. Oh, sorry, I didn't read any of that. It is on. You break boards until your hands are red and sore, but it's no competition. An enemy chews through the boards like they're made of soy bars. An enemy is encouraging. You're getting good. You just have to focus your power through your body more. Like it's not just your hands doing the work, she says, slapping you on the back. How are her hands not even sore? It was close enough. It wasn't really, but it's nice she said so. We got ourselves a straight. glowing crystal. There it is. The glow season. And you know what time it is? You're gonna get tired of me saying that. It's rest time. It's been a quiet glow, but the grim, surreal darkness of the season reminds you of last year's violence. As the month wears on, you overhear arguments at dinner, adults worrying that the attack is still coming, and others who think the first one was a fluke. Surveyors mention seeing new tracks in the forest, but are shushed so people don't panic. The gates are closed. Drill emergency procedures, filing soundlessly from the classroom to the creche to hide under tables, waiting for the sirens to call the all clear. You drill and prepare and worry, but nothing happens. Then, just as the glow is starting to wane, the toxic purple spill of the wormhole fading as the sun almost rises past the horizon again, the sirens start. You're reading a hollow novel in bed when you hear them, followed by the stomp of boots down the hallway outside your quarters. An alert flashes on your hollow palm. Shelter in the creche. This is not a drill. You get another message from your dad. Me and Mom are going to stay in the greenhouses. We're safe. Just follow Auntie Anne to the creche and wait for us, okay? Don't worry. We're way more prepared than we were last year. Love you. Stay safe. You could go to the creche where you belong, or you could follow the security guards and see what's happening at the gates. Just as you peek your head through the door, you're struck by a horrible premonition. Someone's in danger in engineering. You blink and shake your head, but the feeling persists. Go to engineering! No, go to engineering. You don't know what compels you to go into engineering. It's nowhere near the walls, and the corridors are quiet as you approach. You burst into the classroom to find Professor Howell, cornered by a small chittering thing. It's moving too fast to tell what it is. Every time Hal tries to get around it to flee, it climbs up the walls and keeps jumping at him. He's fending it off with a tablet, but he's getting tired. As you watch the thing leaps at his throat and it tears a chunk out of him. Hal screams in pain and crumples to the ground. You must gasp because the thing turns to you and lunges. Gotta save. Oh, what's his name? It's impossible to hit the thing, it's so fast. It's like a smear on the edge of your vision. What you do manage to do, though, is lure it outside the classroom and get congruence to slam the door shut. You hear it beating against the door as you run to Hal's side. Congruence guides you through how to hold pressure to Hal's throat to stop the bleeding, but stars, there's blood everywhere. Eventually the door opens, and Chief Security Instance runs in, directing some of the security team to load Hal into a stretcher and take him to medbay. There's no sign of the creature. She surveys the carnage. Good work, Soul, she says grimly. You might have just saved Hal's life. Her shoulders droop. They must have crawled over the walls, buggers. You return to your quarters. Your parents are horrified to see you covered in blood. Relieved when you say it's not yours. Then horrified all over again when you tell him about Professor Hal. Your dad checks his holopalm. Tells you they got him to a medbay quickly enough that his injuries should heal in a few weeks. You saved Professor Hal's life. Alright. We have made it through another year. It is once again quiet season. We are now 12 years old. We are going to pick this up next time. We're probably going to be doing a whole lot more resting, so it's going to be really, really boring. But sometimes you have to be boring when you're going for achievements. And that's just how life goes. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.